Hi, everyone. This is Sherry Jones of Sherry Speaks Life, your Speak Life midwife, here to teach you how to speak life, love yourself, and impact the world so you can birth the greatness within. I'm so excited to be here with you all this evening. Have you ever lost someone and the loss was devastating, but the lessons and the wisdom that they deposited in you were priceless? That's how I feel about my father. And that is why today's topic is Confessions of a Daddy's Girl. I am a daddy's girl. I am a daddy's girl through and through and true. Okay? And so my dad um, actually transitioned to be with the Lord 13 years ago today. And it always seems like every year on the 14th of September, I have a way to honor him. Something is going on that I can do to try to honor him. One year, I was competing in a humorous speech contest, and because he has such a great sense of humor, I was able to dedicate the speech to him and my mom. And then last year, I had an event for my women's group here on Facebook, and I felt that was a way to honor him because it was me pursuing a dream and doing what God has called me to do, and I knew He would be proud of it. So tonight, I have the opportunity to really share with you a little bit more about my father and how his influence shaped the woman that you see today. I would not be Sherry Speaks Life if it wasn't for my parents, and particularly tonight talking about my dad. Um, he was my heart of hearts. And I just really, really, really was always close to my dad. He was my first love. And so I'll just share a little bit more about him with you. Okay. And just to acknowledge some people that have hopped on, I see on Instagram, we have Pam Dorsey. I am Pam Dorsey. Hey, sweetheart. And yes, my birthday weekend was fab. I'll talk about that a little bit later as well. And hey, cuz David Wilson and Evangelist Millie are on as well. Thank you all for tuning in. So as Pam just mentioned, my birthday. My birthday was Saturday. And so on in 2007, when my father passed, it was really extreme. On my birthday that year, I also saw my son Devin on ultrasound for the very first time. And I had always desired to have a child ever since I was younger. It was something that I always dreamed of. And so I had confirmation that day that I was pregnant, that, everything was going well. I was like 7 weeks at the time. I had already told my father because I knew I was pregnant. So he did know that the baby was coming, but I got to see him on ultrasound that day. And so I was very, very excited. And then for 2 days later, to lose my father was devastating. But I always say that my son was my ram in the bush. He really saved me because I really believe if I was not pregnant, I would have totally flipped out and lost my mind. Because I'd already lost my mom 3 years earlier in 2004. And so to lose my father 3 years later was just, really close for comfort. And so um, that's one of the reasons why September is always a bittersweet month. Of course, I love to celebrate my birthday, but then always remembering that my father passed that month as well. It's hard. And so I wanted to talk to you all just about the type of person my father was. Um, he was just so loving and giving and hilarious at the same time. But then he would give you that tough love and that truth too. And sometimes it will hurt your feelings because I can tell you he hurt my feelings a couple of times. But I always knew that there was love there, no matter what. So when you lose someone, it's comforting sometimes to reflect on the things that you learned from them. Some of those life lessons. And that's what I want to share with you all this evening. So, the first life lesson that I learned from my father was to have something you're passionate about and use it to bless others. My father was very giving, very generous. If he had it, you had it. I've never really heard him say no too much. He told me no one time and hurt my feelings. I was like shocked, like what? But it was one of those tough love moments that I needed. But he always was very giving. And one thing that he was passionate about was fishing. That man loved to fish. Okay. And he would just love to go fishing, but he wouldn't just catch the fish and take it home, for himself. He would always, him and my mom were divorced, but he would always bring my mom some fish to clean. He would always give fish to his family members, neighbors, whoever wanted some fish. He would always share his catch with them. And so that's one lesson that I've learned. If you are passionate about something and you have something that you love to do, make sure that you have a way to bless others with that gift. It's not just about you getting that gift and hoarding it for yourself, but to be able to share that gift with someone else is the true blessing. And my cousin David is on. She said, yes, he was very giving, very, very giving. And so he just had a heart of gold. And I know a lot of people probably say that about their dad. Like, yeah, I love my daddy. But no, my daddy really, really, really did have a heart of gold. He would give you the shirt off his back if he could. Then my cousin Kathy Vaughn is on as well. I'll show her comment here. And she's saying in the 60s, when he was in the military, he would visit and give us kids quarters, which was a big thing back then. Thank you for sharing that memory, Kathy. That is so awesome. Yeah, so my dad was a military man. He fought in World War II and Korea and Vietnam as well. And so he, as Kathy was saying, he would come and give them quarters. Anything to make you smile, anything, especially children. He loved, children. Anything to make you smile, he was going to do it. And so that's one thing, one lesson that I truly, truly loved from my father. And that's part of the reason why I'm able to do the things that I do here for you all. I'm passionate about speaking, I'm passionate about writing, I'm passionate about all of these things, but I use these things in a way to uplift and encourage and support others. I don't just write just to write. I write in a way that I know is going to bless someone else, that's going to edify someone else, that's going to show someone the journey that I went through so that they could, have an easier journey themselves. So that's something that I definitely, definitely learned from my father. So if you have something that you're passionate about, make sure that you're utilizing that passion to help someone else. Then the next thing that I learned from my dad was to find the funny in everyday moments. When I tell you that man, he would find a joke in anything. He would do something silly for anything. One of my fondest memories was it was Thanksgiving dinner. And of course my mom, she had cooked this big spread that's like she does every year. And he came over to eat and other family members were around and it was like, okay, time to say grace. So everybody bowed their head. They were like, my dad, his name was Rufus. So Rufus, you gonna say the grace? Yeah, I'm gonna say the grace. So everybody bowed their head, y'all. Just like this, y'all. We waiting. And he says, grace. Really, sir? No, that is not what we meant. But of course, he did eventually give a real grace. But he found an opportunity to make us laugh, even in that everyday moment. And when we would go to church with him, as him and my mom went to different churches. That was just always their thing. But went to church with him, and the choir would be singing, they'd be throwing down. And then so after they finished singing, my dad would be like, yeah, 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 yeah. And we was like, oh, Daddy, you really enjoyed the song, huh? And he's like, no, I'm clapping because they finished, not because the song was good. Yeah, you probably would have to be there. But that was just hilarious to me. So that's one lesson I found, or that I learned from him, is to find the funny in those everyday moments. You don't always have to be serious. Even if it's a semi-serious moment, you can always find a funny in it. You can always find a way to lighten the mood. And that's really something that I learned from him, and something that I do as well. Because my friends know I'll say something silly in a minute, and have everybody laughing. They're like, "Really? What are you talking about?" So, and cracking jokes and things like that. And I love that. I love to laugh. I love to do those funny things and make things funny. Let's see, Evangelist Millie, show her comment here. She's saying my dad was like that. He died when I was 7. He would always take me with him to visit the elderly members in our church to make sure they were okay. Oh, that's awesome, Millie. So you had a great dad like I did. That is so wonderful that he would go and visit the elderly members in the church. And by taking you, he was showing you that example of giving and giving back to the community and supporting older people. So that's awesome. I love that. I love that. And so find the funny in the everyday moments, people. Okay. And then the next thing that I learned from my dad was that it's not about having the best, but making the best out of what you have. That was a big lesson, because my dad would always say, it doesn't matter what school district you go to, it doesn't matter whether you go to the biggest and the best college. If you don't apply yourself, then it really doesn't matter. You could go to a college that maybe isn't as high ranking or isn't as great, or a school district that people look down upon. But if you apply yourself, you can do great things and you can learn a lot. So it does not matter whether what you have is the best or what you have access to is the best. You make the best out of what you have. And that's something that always resonated with me and always stuck with me. So if may be in a situation where you're wanting to do something, but maybe you don't have access to the best of the best education, maybe, or you don't have access to the best of the best resources, but you have access to something. Make the best out of what you have. Maybe your garden isn't the best, but you're able to grow a few little fruits, some cucumbers, some squash, some whatever. Take those cucumbers, those squash, and make the best salad ever and enjoy it. It doesn't have to be the best. It doesn't have to be something that people will brag on and all that kind of stuff to be impactful. Let's see. Kathy says, so true. So true. It's what you do with what life has handed you. That is so true. It's what you do with what life hands you. What they say, if life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Make the best out of what you have. And don't limit yourself by what you have. Don't say, well, I only have this. I only have that. Say, like young people, they want brand name school shoes. They want some Jordans. Okay, maybe all your parents can afford is some Skechers. Take them Skechers and rock them. Bling them out. Do something creative with them. Make them unique. And then all the kids in school will be like, oh, I want them shoes you got. Where you get them? They're an original, baby, because I took them and I blinged them out. So it's always make the best out of what you have. And then Evangelist Millie says he gave you great life lessons. That's a blessing. Yes, definitely so. Definitely so. So we want to make sure that we are making the best out of what we have. Don't downplay what you have. Don't say I only got this or I don't have much or nothing. Do the best with what you got. Be creative and you can rock it out better than anybody else. It'll be something that'll be unique just for you. Okay. So those are some of the lessons that I learned from my dad that I thought would be encouraging to you all. So of course, y'all know I love the recap, but you want to have something that you're passionate about and use it to bless someone else. Don't just keep your gifts to yourself. Use them, do something with them, and then be giving, be generous, do something to bless someone else with what you have. If you build stuff, if you're a carpenter or you're really creative and you can decorate homes, and I'm not crafty like that, but say that's your gift, then just make a friend something, a nice craft or cute or something that can decorate their home, or offer to, as Millie was talking about, elderly people, offer to go to an elderly person's home and clean their house, or decorate, or put some pictures that they have in frames for them, just anything you're passionate about. You can find a way to bless others with it. Then find the funny in the everyday moments. Every moment doesn't have to be serious. Every moment doesn't have to be, all of that. Find the funny in the everyday moments. And you don't have to go to a comedy club or a comedy show to find something funny. There's something funny in something you do every day or something that your family members do every day. Find the funny. And then lastly, it's not about having the best. It's about making the best out of what you have. Okay. And let's see. Oh, and Amelia says, yes, use what you have in your hands. That's right. Use what you have in your hands. You see these hands? They can do great things. You can build greatness with these hands. And with the Lord's help, you can make something out of nothing. You can have absolutely nothing. And He will give you the mindset, the ingenuity, the creativity to make something fabulous. So I hope that you all enjoyed um, this Speak Life moment. Thank you for indulging me in the opportunity to honor my dad and to share some of the lessons that he taught me in a way that I feel you can be blessed by. Okay. Um, I've come on for those that are hopping on it. I may not know who I am. I introduced myself in the beginning, but I'm Sherry Jones of Sherry Speaks Life. I am an inspirational speaker, an author, and a podcast host. And in the description of this video, you will see my link where you can check out my books. You can check out my podcast, We Are the Church with Sherry Jones, where we talk about today's issues from a Christ perspective. And we encourage Christians to not just go to church, but be the church. That's what we are all about at We Are the Church with Sherry Jones. Also, my books here, my latest is Speak Life Moments, A Transformational Journey. And I talk about my dad in here as well, a couple of times, as well as my mom and all kind of other memories. But this book truly shares my life and inspirational moments in my life that taught me how to speak life so that I can be here with you all speaking life. So make sure that you click the link and check out all of that information, and then tune back in on next Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for another Speak Life moment. Um, okay, Kathy says, oh, I have to show this is so sweet. She says, enjoyed it highly. Uncle Rufus is proud. Oh, thank you so much. I kind of live my life in a way, of course, that's pleasing to God first, but in a way that I feel my parents would be proud of me. That they are looking down saying, that's my baby. And I believe they are. I believe they are proud of me. So thank you so much, Kathy, for sharing that. And then Millie says, great moments and memories. Thank y'all so much. And I see on Instagram, Miss Salters has joined. Thank you so much. But thank you for everyone that tuned in this evening for the Speak Life Moment show. I will be back on next Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for another show. So please hop on, check me out. I'm streaming Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube simultaneously. So check me out on either platform. And I love you all. You all take care. You all be blessed. And remember to always speak life. Bye bye.